Hello, and welcome to a Leeds podcast that I have yet to name properly. So for now, it is the Zaffodcast. No one say a word. This week, we're going to talk mostly about the Championship and Premier League restarts, any transfer rumours that are currently surrounding Leeds, other bits, and we'll finish with a good, bad, ugly section. Oh my god, the dog's going nuts. Whilst the dog is going nuts and I'm going to send her upstairs, who wants to get started on the Championship coming back?
Wonderful.
There we go.
I mean, yeah.
What's going on here? What have you...
Oh my god.
It's quite ironic.
Oh.
I mean, let's say it this way: we were all clamoring for it, weren't we? And then when all of a sudden, Boris decided to start going walkabouts during his off time and realised need to get these people back on my side, started panicking again because it's not going to go at points per game. We have to pull his fingers out of asses and actually do this old-fashioned way. But
yeah,
quite optimistic.
Fucking dog.
It gives me a bit more confidence with football coming back. The fact that these other countries doing it before us, it's not just us going straight into it with no precedent set. We sort of know how it's going to feel a bit more, rather than just this is football now.
And it helps that we know it's not going to immediately fall apart. Holy shit! Thank you for the follows and hosts, Dobby and Ri-Fi, and there was someone before the stream. But I'm not gonna say your name because that's like the person that was from the Midlands.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like the Bundesliga's gone really well so far. There's not been any.
Yeah, it's got a lot of criticism because it doesn't feel the same, but you can't really make it feel the same if it's
not going to feel the same with
yeah.
fans.
Like
I mean, yeah.
leaving the house at the moment doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not going to complain at Sainsbury's for that.
Oh my god, yes, I went shopping this morning and there was no one there. It was so great.
So the fixtures coming up. What's everyone thinking?
What are the first ones again? We've got Cardiff first.
First fixtures we've got is Cardiff on Sunday. Are we all confident for that?
Yeah, Cardiff should be they shouldn't be easy, but they shouldn't be too difficult for us to get
we've got 9 games left. You got to think there's got to be like a process where we come back and it's going to be hard to adapt. No fans, it might Cardiff. You might think, oh, it's an easy game, but it's and then it's the Championship because you can't go complacent in Championship games because anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah.
Cardiff come back from 3-0 down against us. We thought that were an easy 3 points against them. And it's Fulham week after. And it's they say we've got the easiest running, but anyone can beat anyone.
There's no easy running in Championship.
It's two different trends bouncing off each other as well. It's the Bielsa teams do really well after 2 months of rest, combining against the whole Leeds teams aren't very good in the summer months. So which is going to end up on top? I've got no idea, but I'm fairly confident because. Just thinking the first year with very little time under Bielsa, we backhanded Stoke 3-1 in our first match.
Yeah.
So
my thinking is that he sort of had time to just focus on solely this short run of fixtures, just getting fitness as high as it can get, and it just feels like they're going to come out of the gate quite well. But I think it's all preparation for the Fulham game in a week and a half.
As far as
I think that's what we have to focus on.
Go on, Harry.
I prefer to play Cardiff first, then Fulham separately, where they've got to go straight into Brentford, who's another team they're facing off to try and get promotion against. Because then it gives us a sense of how we have found this process. Because I've put here Fulham, I've seen to have a difficult running, but even though we've seen that picture, Mitrovic looking a bit overweight, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We are specifically Fulham fans to see, Barry Douglas has put that he's done a 60-minute workout at home.
But we don't know what Fulham fans have been doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know that we can't say this, we shouldn't be saying this, but on paper, you'd look at this season and you would say that Fulham are the team that you'd expect up there with us and West Brom.
Yeah.
But from what we've got now, I think Brentford have a real strong shot of finishing third.
Oh, hang
I
on.
think that Brentford could finish third and possibly go up.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Is there any way that we're going to finish third? Has anybody got that panic?
What was
After
that?
the whole-
You have, but you're chucking bets.
Well, here we go, because I feel like I'm about to spread it. I analysed the last 9 games from
Oh,
last season,
fucking
which
hell.
it put me in quite a sour mood for quite some time afterwards. I must admit. Now, granted, the first one was that Sheffield United loss that Liam Cooper said was a cup final before he lost Bill Sharp in the middle of the pitch. He must have forgot what he was doing. Happens in a cup final. But out of the last games last season, didn't go too well. 3 wins, 1 draw, 5 losses. 10 points out of possible 27.
Jesus.
And the most alarming fact that I found from all this research I was doing is that the average league position of our losses was 14th, whereas the average wins was 16th. So yeah, we were picking up wins against teams that we should have been beating on paper. However, we were almost as well losing to teams that
We should have been
paper,
beaten on paper.
So there is that constant almost level of you can't predict what the fuck's going to happen, because one week would be in terms like Sheffield Wednesday, and then we're dropping 3 points at Ipswich, which granted was a meaningless game, but
Yeah. And
still.
then we did Aston Villa score.
But the way that
Yeah,
I'm looking at that though, Cameron, from what you've said, is if one of those games that we get a win from coming up is Fulham, 10 points will essentially see us up.
And they
Now you say that.
do need to do at least 7 points better than us. 10 points for us from the last 9 games still leaves them needing effectively
17
6
from
wins.
27.
Even goal difference, they need 6 wins in that case. Which, yeah, feeling a bit better.
I don't
and that
know, I've like when it cut off, I was like, I want football to come back, but now it's come back. I'm like, shit.
I think that's just a typical sort of
Shit.
Leeds
Yeah.
fan though, where we're all sort of a bit nervous about football.
Mm.
And it's come
What
back
we've seen
with
before.
the fact that now we know it's going to be PPG. We know that we go up if the season stops, whereas previously it was a bit like, what the fuck happens? This is completely unprecedented. But now, having had League One do it already, it's basically a bit more promising. Talking about Fulham there, that brings on to our next point. Are Fulham, considering their run-in, basically fucked? Will they even finish third at this point?
I reckon it all depends on their first game back against Brentford. Because the winner of that obviously has the key advantage in that battle. Fulham would be 7 points clear in 8 games. It's decent enough that you'd expect them to be able to do it. But they have got that hard running that you're on about.
As much as, like, third place... Hold on, I'm just going to turn this lamp off and see what it does for the lighting. It's better without the lamp, okay. As much as the Fulham match... Sorry, as much as third place is a good place to be, it is only a playoff spot, but then again, it's a playoff spot against Preston or Bristol or Millwall or Cardiff or Blackburn or Swansea rather than Brentford
but
or
as well,
Forest.
You'd rather have not play Brentford in playoffs, but like as we saw last year,
It doesn't
you don't
matter.
burn yourself out like in the last 9 games. You know you're going to get playoffs to play, because if you're not burnt out, then you can just play on.
They do say that third place is one of the worst positions to finish because more than likely 6th place is going to be the team on form, having just battled to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they're going to be in form going into the 2 playoff matches. So it's going to be hard to actually do it.
I got here as well, like Fulham, like not notoriously known, but like under Jokanovic, they had that running where they went, I don't know where they come from, and then they got promoted. Last season, even though they were down when they appointed Parker, they had a bit of a upturn in form. So I might just like think last games at season might just have pretty strong running.
So Fulham have Brentford at home, which that could go either way really. Us at Elland Road, again, that could go either way.
Yeah.
Then QPR, who are down in 13th.
That's not an easy match still, you got to remember.
No.
Like, it's a completely fresh essay that you're up against.
Yeah. And then you've got Birmingham down in 16th. Forest, who are 5th, so they'll be trying to defend that playoff spot. Cardiff
Yeah.
City, who are 9th, so they can still get the playoffs.
Mm.
West Brom,
who will be fighting for the title at that point?
yep. Sheffield Wednesday, who
I think
could
they're still in the
possibly-
playoff fight as well.
no, they're down in 15th, but
Fair.
given results, they could be down fighting for the survival.
And on
And
this,
Wigan again
yeah.
last game of the season, who could be in that survival fight. So every game's got
something to it.
something to it, yeah.
So
I think they are a bigger threat than people are making out, just because when you're 6 points off the top two, and you're kind of 8 points off dropping out of the playoffs, I think you're in this really awkward position where you can kind of go a bit guns to the wall. Like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me if against Brentford and Leeds, it's just full on, like, blitzkrieg, fucking bang, 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 and we're just sitting there like, whoa, where was this team, before all this happened? Because they've not been thinking, oh god, what if we bottle it? They're thinking, right, do you want another 2 games, 3 games actually, end of season where we can go to Wembley or do it before, or should we just go out there and just fucking give it hell forever? And
Yeah.
it won't surprise me if against Brentford and Leeds they pick up 6 points and all of a sudden, you're talking about are they a fucking title contender?
But then again, you've got the question of, is Scott Parker really going to know how to tell his team to out blitzkrieg Bielsa? Like, as much as Fulham can come out absolutely shitting thunder.
Well, according to Scott Parker, aren't we a predictable system?
Honestly, it depends on his game plan, what works, doesn't it?
That is the thing working against him, just that lack of experience that he's got. And plus, where were they at the start of the season? I feel like they were nowhere.
Fulham,
Yeah, were they anywhere near?
they've always been sort of in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they weren't doing
but
anything
never
special.
been sort of up.
Yeah, they've been
No.
floating around like 8th to like 5th on the board.
No,
haven't they?
they've always been up in 3rd.
Have they?
I don't know. There
yeah.
was a period
But
where
it
it was
was
Forest.
just- When we sort of dropped down, sort of nearer them, they were close to overtaking us. But then they had a poor run of form. We had that good run of form.
Yeah, true.
So it's just it's an interesting one with Fulham because I feel like they've got the players to do it,
Yeah.
but it's just it could go either way with them.
I think one big thought when it comes to Fulham is the way that earlier on in the season, when we absolutely fucked it and they could have overtaken us with ease, they didn't. And I feel like if similar happens this time and us or West Brom slowed down, will they have the bottle to overtake us? Because last time they didn't. On the subject of clubs that could struggle, just how fucked are Hull?
Yeah.
I'm
My dad-
I
my
put
dad
it here
walked
that
in.
there's 3 points between Charlton in 22nd and Stoke in 17th. Now I think Stoke will be safe.
Yeah. Stoke and
Right.
Huddersfield are up there with 42 compared to 39.
Still think Huddersfield will struggle because just of their form, and they've got minus 13 goal difference. Whereas like teams below Borough have got 10, minus 10, Wigan minus 12, all minus 14. But like you say, today it's come out that they've lost. They'll lose Maddison, Jackson Irving, Eric Leigh, is that Stephen Kingsley or something?
Yeah, I saw someone say that like Lehigh and Irvine were their captain and vice captain or something like that, which is
It's bad for Hull because they've just been slipping down and down ever since losing Bowen and Grzycki.
and apparently they're losing Wilkes as well.
Yeah.
And I saw today that Wilkes, Barnsley, letting him play the first 2, but then not extending his loan.
I mean,
probably a shit house move.
They don't really have a
yeah.
choice but to allow them to play the first 2 because like that's how far the contract
Yeah.
goes.
30th of June, won't it?
But I do understand it if you are the holder
from
of
Barnsley's point of view, they'd have to do it because it's dangerous otherwise.
they're bottom of the table and
Yeah.
they're not going to keep their player at a relegation rival. That's suicide.
Would he be allowed to play for Barnsley having gone back?
Started season
fuck.
at Barnsley, hasn't he? 'Cause he's not played pre. He might not be registered for Barnsley. That's the point.
He's
Yeah,
played.
that's my thinking.
He's played previously for.
Can't play for more than 3 teams.
You can't play.
No.
You can't play for 3. So it could just be a matter of we're taking him away from Hull, so they aren't
Yeah.
as much of a
I'm
threat.
pretty sure he has played for Barnsley. Starts here. Played for us.
So I thought he went to Doncaster.
Have a look.
No, he went Doncaster last season, wasn't he?
Ah.
Under McCann.
I'll do
So
a
the-
quick Google now.
So
But
literally add insult to injury as well. Why they we analyse Barnsley's lack of injuries. The players that are returning from injury for Hull, which is quite a lot, Eric Leach, I don't know how to say his name.
Lehigh.
And he's
Going out
left.
of
He's
contract.
gone.
Yeah, he's out
Who's
of
not on
contract
a
and leaving.
contract. Todd Kane, Tom Eaves, Reece Burke are all returning back from injury. However, these are all crucial ligament injuries, so fuck knows what they're going to be like when they come back. Because you can't return from a crucial ligament injury and probably be 100% within the time they've been
Yeah.
given. Because Eaves was only injured back in February against us, or whenever it was. So
That means they're probably going to have a similar injury like later on.
The Wilkes
Yeah.
move does make sense, by the way. He played for Barnsley at the start of the season.
I still
Okay.
think he'll be registered for Barnsley.
No. Because even if he goes back, because the season would end the 30th of June, I think he'd be eligible for next season, but not a continuation of this season.
Honestly, who knows? I think the main point is
Yeah.
Hull won't have him. And
Yeah.
considering
think
they
it's-
don't have Bowen, don't have Grzycki, don't have Lehigh, won't have
They won't have
Irvine,
much
don't have Wilkes,
top.
they've got nothing.
an injured 6'6" Tom Eaves.
I shit
Wait.
like whoever's upstairs doing out contracts, like having that many first team players run out of contracts
Yeah.
in the 2020. I know you couldn't have predicted this, but like Bowen, Grzycki, like Lehigh, Irving, you say they're captain, vice captain if they are.
Yeah.
Like, why have you got four like star players? Well, 4 year first team players out of contract at the same time. That's poor management.
To give you a
Also,
rough idea, go on.
With Hull, they really have a bad run into the end of the season as well, because they're playing teams who are in or around the relegation battle and in the top 6. Because they've got
as well down the right, and they've just got Nathan Jones who he knows how to get a result.
out of a Luton team as well.
Question for
Not get a result
anyone.
for fucking stuff.
Question for anyone that hasn't checked yet.
Unless he's playing Leeds.
She's got. Oh, sorry, go on.
In the last 2 Hull matches, how many goals did they concede for someone that hasn't checked yet?
So we
About 10, it
against
wasn't,
us.
I'm guessing.
Is it 9? I feel like it
It
was
was
9.
7.
Last how many games?
Last 2.
So we were being
Oh,
Did you just say it was 7?
no.
I've not answered yet.
I
thought
know.
someone
I
said
know
it
how
was
many it
7.
is. I've checked.
I thought it was 10, wasn't it? Something like that.
No, it's 9. They conceded 9 goals in 2.
We
Oh,
scored
okay,
5
so-
against.
The
QPR.
5-1 against Stoke,
Oh,
then
Stoke.
4-0 against us. But
Oh,
even
went
even
4-0.
going back the last 8 games, they've lost 5-1, 3-0, drew 4-all, lost 4-0, lost 5-1 again. It's not looking good.
Was it
for
They're
them
shit
at
show.
all.
They did have that Jordy DeVries injured as well, didn't he? He was their main centre back.
You've got to go to New Year's Day for Hull City to have a clean sheet.
Clean sheet, not even a win.
Not even a win. Clean sheet.
No, that was a win as well.
Well, yeah, it was against Sheffield Wednesday. But
Yeah.
like even then, like not doing anything. Support a
That's
proper
back when
team like
them-
Liverpool. I would support a proper team like Liverpool,
But we
but
support a proper team
then-
anyway in Leeds.
yeah, then you're assuming Liverpool are a proper team. So yeah, I know that wasn't.
So
Go on.
the last win that they had was 1-0 against Sheffield Wednesday with Jared Bowen scoring.
And now they don't get to
And now
play
they've got no-
Sheffield Wednesday again, I don't think. And they've not got Jared Bowen, and they've not had a clean sheet in forever. So that's going to go a certain way, innit?
Mm.
They have got Matthew Pennington at the back.
So they'll be fine. They've
Maybe that's
got
why they've not got any
Pennington.
clean sheets.
On the subject of teams that are at risk of going down, with players that are likely fucking off, Charlton aren't going to have a good time either. I think, is it just Lyle Taylor that said he won't play for Charlton?
There were 3 of them.
Was it? Shit.
Yeah.
Taylor's the main one. Taylor's the only
Yeah,
one.
Lyle
Yeah.
Taylor's
Games.
definitely the main player because he's their main goal threat, if I remember right, isn't he?
Yeah.
But there was also Chris Solly
hmm
and David Davis, who's gone back to Birmingham City.
He's also the name of the old Brexit minister.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's such a weird fact. Okay. Yeah, I think the bottom of the table could be absolute chaos, to be honest. Like,
So, like I said, there's 3 points separating 17th to 22nd. That's didn't even look at Luton's points, but
Luton are on 35 there, 4
Oh,
points
so-
behind Charlton.
Hey, thank you, Alexis, for the raid. 4 viewers. Shit, is that what you were on? Have you been doing Siege, I think? Yeah. Anyway,
so I think that your main sort of relegation threat is just the one position. So I think Luton and Barnsley are down.
I think Luton could.
Like new manager. So
Yeah.
If
It's going to require a lot from Nathan Jones.
Luton now playing us and Nathan Jones.
Oh
Izzy
god.
Brown.
He does like to. Make me
I'm podcasting.
Oh god.
Yeah, I wrote a long ass post to go on the soccer subreddit a few days ago. Yeah, I know it should be called football. And I'd specifically mention Nathan Jones and his ability to grab his own arsehole and scream. So
Yeah, it's the relegation fight will be interesting. I could see it going down to the last day potentially, because I can see Charlton could go down, but I think that they might have enough, maybe, like within the squad.
No, but if it's going to the final day, Charlton coming to Fulham at last day of the season.
Yeah. But then you've got Hull, which I could easily see going down. Wigan, I don't think they brought too much. However, they seem to beat us every time we play them. Good thing we don't have to play them again.
Harry, as much as you say that Charlton have to play us on the last day of the season, you've got to remember that this is Leeds, and if we were to go up, we would go up with a loss to Charlton. That's how we work.
We would go up playing fair.
If Charlton beat us at last game of the season, wouldn't they be on this team to do double over us? No.
Maybe.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a hell of an achievement to get in it.
You're tempting my betting on today with this. You taught me to Luton. I'm already thinking about it now. I'm looking at these games coming up. Like Luton, will be a 7 out.
So teams that can do the double over us, if we lose to Swansea, they will.
Mhm.
And Charlton are the only other team that can.
In addition to the Championship coming back, is the Premier League. As much as we might not pay as much attention to it as we do the Championship, being Leeds fans, got to admit that it's a fairly big thing for it to come back. There's still the Champions League to fight for. There's still relegation to fight against. Yeah, what are we thinking? More interestingly as well is the BBC's first ever match with the Premier League. I thought that was quite fun. Anyway.
That's it. It's good to see that it's actually been put free to air as well for certain games. Including
the Merseyside derby. I think that could be an especially big one, since in theory Liverpool can... Yeah.
Is that if Man City lose tomorrow? I think it's even if they draw. I'm just pulling up the table now. I've got the table. So you've got Liverpool played 29, 82 points. Man City played 28 on 57 points.
Why have they brought this back? It's over.
However, relegation's really not over.
Relegation's far from going.
No. Because you've got.
No, it is. They're all not playing out there. Didn't they all say they were going to turn the tails and refuse to play now? Oh, are they all playing again? That's
they're all playing. Yeah.
They're all playing again. Isn't that funny?
So you've got Villa in 19th on 25 points with a game in hand over Bournemouth in 18th on 27. So if they win, they're out of the relegation zone into 16th.
Yeah, Watford and West Ham.
Saints on this again?
Southampton are 14th with 37 points.
They are.
Okay.
They're probably one of the safer sides.
Yeah.
They could be dragged into it with a couple of poor results, but
they're not likely to.
Saints,
looking at that scrap.
Yeah, but it's Saints to be fair.
They have got some difficult games against Arsenal, Man City, Man United, and teams in the relegation fight such as Brighton and Bournemouth and Watford.
On the subject of Brighton, are we all looking forward to Brighton coming down and having to leave Ben White to a Premier League club, perhaps the newly promoted one?
We can speak about Ben White later on.
That's
Ben
true.
White
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get on to Ben White. Yeah, I've got a feeling that West Ham are going to go down. I think it'd be some hilarious irony.
I want to see West Ham go down.
After Karen Brady said, I want to stop the season right now, and they moved into one of the biggest stadiums in the country, I want to see Sebastian Haller playing in the Championship in the Olympic Stadium.
He won't stay.
He won't, no, but I can dream.
No. Like, the amount of players that West West Ham are going to lose if they go down is going to be ridiculous because teams will want them.
Yeah, they look like they've got decent quality players, but they've not got players that fit the system. Owen don't fit the system. You've got Felipe Anderson don't fit the system. I don't think who else they've got.
I think they might have one of the stronger run-ins from the teams in that area.
But
Honestly, I've got Norwich, Villa, and West Ham going down.
Norwich.
I think Villa might fight out of it. I can see Bournemouth and West Ham going down.
I don't know that Villa being I'm a bit biased and I just want them to just get down.
Well, yeah, I know that everyone here probably fucking hates Villa and wants to see them drop. But will they? That's the important question.
I can see there being some incredible irony in it being Bournemouth, Villa, and Norwich that go down, in that nothing changes. The three sides that were meant to go down, if we ended the league today, are going to go down, and that just be it. I can just see the absolute irony of bringing this back and nothing changing. So they're my bets: Bournemouth, Villa, and Norwich. Plus, they are all awful teams to watch.
Yeah, but it all depends on who comes up with us.
Is it?
Yeah, because I mean, if it could be like something out of nowhere, it could be like, I know, Preston comes up with us or some shit.
I think Preston easily could.
Yeah, it's doable.
I think that they've had a strong side all this season, really. In my opinion.
And thingy, their gaffer's quiet.
Is it Alex Neil?
Yeah, he's good.
I think so. Yeah.
Good manager.
And then at the other end of the table, we've got a very weird fight for the Champions League because we don't know where it ends. Is it 5th? Is it 4th?
It'll be 5th because because you've got Man City still to go through courts, haven't you? So it could be 4th.
Could it in theory be 6th if Liverpool win the Champions League or Man City win the Champions League? No, wait, Man City couldn't. Who's still in the Champions League?
Liverpool, are they?
No, they got knocked out by.
Yeah.
It looks like a fight between Chelsea and.
No, your Champions League fight could go down to where am I pointing to?
Oh yeah, because Wolves and Sheffield are like 2 points away. Well, not 2 points, but 5 points away.
It could go down to Arsenal in 9th, and then if you're saying them, it could even go down to Burnley in 10th and Crystal Palace with a good run of form.
What, Champions League?
I think Norwich have gone outside shot here about way talking about this
league. If Burnley end
no.
up in the Champions League, I'm gonna.
The fact that Man United are potentially in the Champions League spot if Man City don't manage to get it through the courts on 45 points. Crystal Palace are 6 points behind.
Oh yeah, shit.
Wait, wait, what?
Not Champions League, maybe. Yeah, I couldn't see it. That's.
I've
got Champions League places that stay the same. So
yeah, but
City,
I don't.
Leicester, Chelsea.
Yeah, but Harry, that's
play.
Man City are currently banned from European competitions from next season, aren't they?
Yeah, but Andrew, that's going to get suspended.
Is it?
You know, it's fucking right. Chelsea's transfer ban. Chelsea got 2 year transfer ban. Yeah,
Andrew, Palace still have to play.
Hold on, Callum, go on.
Palace still have to play Liverpool, Chelsea, Leicester, and Man United.
You're saying that, but Liverpool this season, the only lost team that they've lost to is Watford. No one thought Watford would have been able to beat Liverpool, let alone 3-1 against Liverpool.
Yeah, but
3-0, 3-1.
Didn't Liverpool they didn't even bring their B team. They brought half.
They did. They brought
their
full on. They went in on them.
Yeah.
It's so surprising. Man.
I mean, everything's going to end at some point, but really, their fucking main team got beat by Watford. Oof.
I'm gonna make an outsider prediction here. I think Sheffield United could squeak into 5th.
You think Sheffield will go 5th?
What was that? Sorry.
I think Sheffield United could squeak into 5th.
They've got tomorrow.
I mean, tomorrow and to the end of the season, I think they've got a genuine decent chance.
To be fair, their next game is Villa.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget
with the game in hand as well.
Yeah.
Actually, they're playing Villa tomorrow. Apparently.
Yeah. They are.
So that's an easy.
Don't say apparently.
Oh fuck! I've seen the run in. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Well, Sheffield's playing Villa.
There aren't any easy
United's
3
playing
points
against
in
Tottenham.
any
So
league.
Tottenham could give Man United a run for their money. They could even lose that match. But then Sheffield win. That will put them in 5th.
But the rest of the season for Sheffield United is Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham. There's Burnley in there. Wolves, Chelsea, Leicester City. It's not It's not going to be fun.
It's
They
not
don't put
good for
anyone
them.
lower than 10th. That's unreal.
I want to say I've got Sheffield United dropping to 8th, Spurs overtaking them, and then Arsenal in 9th. Arsenal in 9th quite surprised me.
What have you just gone through and
But
predicted the rest of
Arsenal
the
haven't
season?
been playing that. They weren't playing
Just
that well
looked at
last
it.
season, were they?
Well,
They've
Arteta
kind of
now,
like,
and I can't remember how they've done with Arteta.
aren't Arsenal
think
like
they've
kind of
done
like
quite
a
well.
shitty kind of
Relatively,
area?
I believe.
Didn't they have like a stupid run of form when the year turned? Because what the joke that Arsenal are the only unbeaten team this decade. So didn't they go
Maybe.
like 3 months unbeaten? There was something like that. I think they went unbeaten for quite a while. Like, a lot of draws in there, but they went unbeaten.
Yeah, they've gone unbeaten since the start of the year, but they drew 4 of them. They've drawn 4, won 4 since the turn of the decade.
You know,
One point's better than none.
That includes beating Man United, beating Newcastle, beating Everton, beating West Ham. So it's not like they've managed to get results against the top teams there.
I think they're a bit too far behind to have any real contention, but
Yeah.
they're worth a shout. People can't just walk over them because they're in a bad league position.
I think that they could cause some upsets with the games coming up.
Yeah. I've had a
Is
look at the.
anybody worried about Leicester?
no, I don't
No,
think
I think Leicester's gonna be. They're gonna be solidly in the position they're in.
Yeah.
I don't see them dropping behind Chelsea, but I don't really see them going above Man City. So I feel like
I think they're comfortable where they are. The way that they played all season, it's been good football to watch. They've played quite well. I think they deserve third.
Yeah.
I've had a look at the Champions League, and the only English team that could realistically win it from here is Man City, which means it won't have any effect on the Champions League next season because they can't get in even if they win it.
I'd say if they sort of get to the final anyway, they just sort of say whoever lost in final is your spot.
The other English team that's left in it is Chelsea, but they lost the first leg 3-0.
What about Europa League? So whoever wins Europa League gets a spot, don't they?
I know Wolves are still in there.
Scum are still in it.
I think
Didn't they walk over Pack like 5-0 or something stupid? Some random Albanian National League team or something? I can't remember. Yeah.
Imagine if they walked over our Lord and Saviour, Hervan Mukum.
God.
Don't talk about Mogan.
Um,
Don't talk about Mogan.
Nothing like that could happen.
They beat LASK 5-0. And Wolves drew 1-1 with Olympiacos.
So is it just them two left in from England then?
Yes, although Rangers are there as well, but they're likely to get plugged by Leverkusen again.
I would say it doesn't really matter for us about Rangers being there because
Well, yeah,
it wouldn't affect number of entrants.
They're on UK soil. It counts. It's fine. From my point of view, I think the Champions League next season is going to be, assuming the court case doesn't pay off for Man City, I'm thinking it's going to be Liverpool, Leicester, Chelsea, and one of Wolves or Sheffield. I can't see Man United getting off to a flying start.
I could see Man United though getting into the Champions League through the Europa League like they did against a couple of years ago.
I could see them managing that, but I can't see them like straight qualifying for the Champions
But then
League.
that would then open up the space for Wolves or Sheffield United to get in that way, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Basically, I think the current top 7 are getting European football.
Apart from Man City.
Apart from Man City.
Yeah.
But hang on, if Man United win the Europa League, does that open up a new spot? So that would be Tottenham in as well.
It will. No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they'll be in the Europa League. Yeah. They won't be in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Because Champions League should be a top 4. And then with Man United getting the spot, that will then
open up 2 more Europa
6th
spots.
place. 1 more Europa spot.
Okay. Right. So, despite the fact that the season stopped, the transfer rumours have never stopped. Let's take a quick look at what we've got so far. Anyone know anything about Patrick Eras? I think Eras.
He's not one for me. I don't think.
I don't think he's looked at his stats. He's in Bundesliga's Bayern Nuremberg. He might be back up to KP, but to me, 25-year-old is just going to sit there and get a wage. I'd rather have someone like McAlmont try learn Phillips' role, someone from youth, rather than he's not really had experience in like I haven't looked at his like top league statistics but he's in Bundesliga. As far now, he's not doing great.
But then
However,
again,
with his height and the fact that he can play there, I thought that they might have tried to sell him as a centre back instead, because that's where he's been playing in the earlier half of this season for them.
I think centre back makes a lot more sense considering
He's 6'5", and we need a centre back now with White going back.
Yeah, I've moved up the White point as well, just because we might as well combine these two. All things considered, we're probably not going to have Ben White next season. We'll discuss that in a moment. And I think Eris could make sense as getting a centre back in to replace him, if he's had like top flight experience.
He's
and
not
he's
a top flight experience.
Hasn't he? Oh fuck, never mind.
But he's in Bundesliga's by second tier German football.
Yeah, I just someone experienced alongside Cooper isn't going to be a bad thing, and if they come in for free, then that's even better.
He's had 19 appearances in top league of German football.
Oh, okay.
Done look great.
Oh, so he has done Bundesliga.
It says Newcastle here on him.
No, mine says that he's got 19 appearances in the second tier of German football.
Is that this season though?
Yeah.
I've got his career stats. He's got 60 games. I mean, if he's playing like centre back or like your holding midfielder role, like technically he's more prolific than Calvin. Like 60 games, 8 goals, and I think that might be from centre back though.
But he
scored one this season.
Are you looking for goals when it comes to a CDM though?
Oh yeah.
If you're looking for a centre back, it could show that he's getting the goals off the corners that you'd want.
That's true.
It's giving you a height in the box.
I mean, he's 6'5". He looks going from corners. I'd be more concerned about that.
However, I would rather have someone who has more experience if we want a centre back alongside Cooper, rather than a 25-year-old from Germany who's not had much top flight experience.
Yeah. So I've not seen anything about this Ben White bit, but it feels relevant to this. Can whoever put it on the...
I put it on because I was reading this morning about Kevin Phillips saying that if what's it called, Brighton and Hove Albion were to sell Ben White to a top side such as Liverpool or Chelsea, who are apparently interested, they would not want to play him straight away. That would mean that there would be a chance of him getting loaned out again, and he was saying that Leeds would be going in for that loan.
But would you spend like 30 to 35 million for someone who would be on loan? Like, I think if you went to like a team like Leicester, he could probably just fit in straight away. Like,
yeah, a team like Leicester, but I think they were more about him going to Liverpool.
But what does like Kevin Phillips know? Right, probably just going, I'm just going to try and get my name relevant.
Because
Leeds will get views going.
He's 22 at minute, so from that, I guess it's thinking he will go there, spend a season at lower Premier League level, getting him ready to go to that higher Premier League level. He'll be 23. He's still got ages left of his career at 23 at centre back to go to Liverpool and have a spell there.
Yeah,
I think that might be their thinking. That could be their thinking. So it is entirely possible.
Oh, Discord seems to be breaking up a bit. If it is Liverpool, I can see the point. Like, he's not going to sneak in ahead of Van Dijk and Gomez, Matip, and probably got other players there. But
he's better than Lovren.
Yeah, but is he better than Matip and Gomez? Because he's got to sneak in somewhere to get in next to Van Dijk.
So would you spend that sort of money to sit him on bench when he's that young? I know I've just said like you won't want to spend that much money and then loan him out, but they want him to get experience and he can't get into the squad behind Van Dijk or Gomez. There's no point in him sitting on bench.
Yeah.
When other top teams can loan him and effectively pay his wage.
You kind of got to weigh the fact that it's 4 loans in 4 seasons from him as well, if that is the case. And if you're 22 and you've been sat in Brighton's academy, then maybe you don't really feel like just going, go to Liverpool and then go to, wherever, say, Leeds go up or you've loaned out to Bournemouth or something. And, what if he has that stinker of a season? Like, he's had a fire season for us, it's undeniable. But what if he goes down and all of a sudden Bournemouth are conceding 6 a game and he's putting in 2 and back into his own net. Like, he's not going to be a staple at Liverpool then. So the psyche of it is, for him, very interesting. But I still refuse to not believe the fact that if Liverpool or Chelsea come sniffing for you, you're not just going to turn that down straight away.
So aside from Ben White and his potential replacements, has anyone heard anything else regarding Leeds' transfer business?
No,
There's the rumours of not signing John Kevin on a permanent because he's not played, isn't there?
I thought that if we went up, it was a guaranteed thing. I didn't know if anyone had said.
I was reading from Phil that he was saying that Leeds were getting cold feet on it and potentially not going through with deal, and then that's led to Che Adams rumours coming back up, getting him signed. Apparently, Southampton were now open to that as an offer.
Honestly, we've always known that John Kevin's it's mandatory if we go up, but he has the final say whether he wants to stay now.
Yeah.
Now, with his hamstrings, is that going to be an issue? I know over the summer he can have strength and conditioning coach can work with him and he can strengthen that muscle area, but I probably would prefer Augustine to Adams because, you've seen Adams in his first season at Southampton, not really set world alight, and we've not had Augustine Augustine's not played its system, but Augustine's been in training sessions. You've seen how long it's taken for players like Harrison to get to full speed with Bielsa. I'd rather have someone like Augustine, who has played in the top league in a foreign country, to play over Adams.
It just makes me think with Augustine, would he want to stay in a country where he's not had success for the second division, even with the injury, where he could just go back to do we get him from Leipzig, and he would probably get more there.
Honestly, with Werner going, I could probably see Augustine playing more at Leipzig.
Yeah,
but Leipzig might also bring in another youngster.
Yeah, because to me, he still has to replace Bamford at the minute.
With watching Leeds games for all coding and that, you do see Bamford, and it's a lot of what he does. You just think half at times today, I was watching Bristol game and just clapping what he's doing. He's holding off defender.
Yeah, exactly.
People bringing fouls in. Can Augustine get to that level? Like we saw it with Nketiah. Nketiah's lethal in front of goal, but he didn't kind of bring this wow facts that Bamford brings to the team.
Yeah, when Eddie started, he didn't exactly set the world on fire. Whereas what Bamford can do is he can absolutely knacker a defence, and then you bring on a Roberts or you bring on a Kev, and suddenly you've got an exhausted defence against one of Bielsa's strikers, sprinting at them, and it's not going to end well for the defence, is it?
No.
I don't know. I feel like the general rule of give someone 2 pre-seasons under Bielsa is going to be quite promising, since he's effectively just had one now, and he'll have one before.
Or pre-seasons.
Yeah. Honestly, didn't Bielsa said that now he's worth 40 to 50 million? I can't remember what the exact quote is. But
he said if he was hitting his full potential, he'd be worth about 40 million quid.
Yeah. I think that if JK would stay, Augustine would stay, I reckon he could do the club a lot of good. Even if he's not a starting striker, he could be a very good impact sub. Because he's running against shattered defences and could be just the legs that we need to win the game. But I feel like he wouldn't want to stay.
God, just imagine Kev running at exhausted Harry Maguire. Oh. Right, so I want everyone give a little prediction. Do we get to keep Kev? I think that we do, because he seems to have committed himself in terms of fitness and stuff. So I think yes. Harry thinks yes.
I think he'll stay. Leipzig might want to keep him now.
Okay. Cameron?
I think yes, just because I think the whole idea of having a new flashy number 9 coming for the Premier League doesn't appeal at all to Bielsa or anyone in Leeds, so they'll keep Kev.
Callum?
It was John Kevin.
Unless Callum is currently dealing with dogs. He's muted for a bit. Alright, okay. In that case, Callum?
I just don't know. I don't see us losing Kevin.
Yeah.
But I don't know if. See, I don't think he is as impactful as Bamford, and that's why I'm like, would they keep
You haven't
him?
really
But I
had the
think-
opportunity to show how
yeah,
impactful
but it's a lot of times like if he can't get the opportunity, then does he fit in the team?
That was an
Well enough?
issue with Eddie, in all fairness. Like, he couldn't get past Bamford.
Hmm.
Right, I am just going to try and find the next point of discussion, which is on the rumoured kits that we'll have for next season. Has everyone seen these?
like green and blue one.
Yeah, the
No sponsor.
green and blue one, without a
I
sponsor,
think that
Tiny
looks
Veg.
alright. Like I think with a sponsor, it obviously look more like bulked out.
I think I wasn't keen on it because it just
Oh wait, does anyone have a link to it? Because I haven't seen it. Yet.
I'll be popping it on the stream in a second.
Oh, okay.
It isn't the highest of definition image.
I mean, I really like the grey and pink from like that third kit. I don't know why. I just really do like it.
Honestly, the season's probably the best kits in Rad's era.
Yeah.
Like,
online about I think last year's kits with getting a lot of praise recently.
Which one last year's? Bus seat was good.
Bus seat, the white one, and the yellow third kit,
That
which is
yellow
quite
one,
nice to be
right.
fair.
Really nice. The white one were nice. I like the monk season but without collar.
Mm.
I still like wearing that. The bus seat, God, I remember my dad getting me and he got female size. They were really tight.
Okay, so the new kit looks something like all around that.
The rumoured new kit.
The rumoured new kit.
Oh,
I don't
Oh.
like that.
no! It kind of looks like a ref shirt that had like a blue sock put in the same wash as it.
I like it, but I'm not keen on the collar.
I feel like
I feel around that collar.
it just to me looks like we've got someone else's
Yeah.
one of those catalogue kits and just stuck the logo on it.
Yeah.
Just don't look right to me.
Like,
It
just remind me
kind of
of that
looks
Netflix
like a League One or League Two teams kit, to me.
Netflix
Yeah.
with Fabian Elephant back.
or like some like It looks like a rugby shirt.
It does remind me of the era where we had the League Two shirts League One shirts. To be fair, it just has a feel to one of them. I can't remember which one.
I don't know.
I don't know if
I think it's one of those kits that could look a lot better when it's on someone.
Yeah. I think that with Adidas it might open a lot of new opportunities, but there's a lot of room to fuck it up with the Leeds kit.
Mm.
I mean, away kits are always going to be the experimental ones. As long as you go
Yeah.
white home kit, you're fine.
Honestly, I do like the fact that they aren't changing the badge. Like,
Yeah.
they were so adamant about changing badge, and then if that is like the rumoured kit, it shows that they're not changing the badge.
I think that the badge change was more for this centenary year, which they managed to do a bit more tastefully than they planned to initially.
No, I wasn't too keen on centenary badge, but I'm glad it was that centenary badge rather than chuffing salute
one.
badge. Jeez.
Heads
That was bad.
badge.
Right. So, everyone at least all right on the new kit, and no one like actively despises it.
I really don't like that.
No.
I have an active
I don't like it at all. No, I hate it.
I'm sort of okay with it.
I feel like there's so much room to improve on that from the. I think you've got to make a statement because was it Kappa that we're currently on at the minute?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they've done really well with kits when they've had the time to do it.
Yeah.
So with that, that just feels like a major downgrade to what we've had for me.
Jeez, Kappa nearly fucked it up this year though, didn't they? With red on the way kit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
I
you
remember
did
seeing that
see
documentary, all right.
documentary where Radrizzani was saying that is too red. That needs to be pink.
Out of every real away kit we had this year, that feels like, I mean, under the Rads era, that by far for me is the worst.
Which
Like,
one?
The one we're looking at right now.
Away one. Oh, that one.
Oh.
Yeah, I think about the pink one this
away
season.
one. No. Like compare it to everything else we've had.
Yeah.
That's disgusting for me. It looks like one of them Sondico training kits you buy at Sports Direct for like 2 for 15.
I prefer that one to Radzy's first season with black and grey, black and silver in Christian era. I wasn't too keen on that one.
Yeah.
Right. So having discussed the kits, we also might be seeing some Leeds players in slightly different white kits. Who has something to say about Gareth Southgate?
There was the interest sort of a couple of months ago, wasn't there, where they were saying that they saw Southgate at Elland Road for one of the matches.
Mm-hmm.
But then, given the fact that he's come out this week and said that there is interest in Ben White and Calvin Phillips, it does make you think a bit more of, wow, there really is something here.
Honestly, the fact his name dropped him now actually makes you think that they are on his radar rather than they're just saying, oh yeah, the report, Gareth Southgate looks to name Calvin Phillips because he might be like that, but he's actually said Ben White, Calvin Phillips 2021 possible.
Yeah.
And it's not like the guy has to do a Kevin Phillips and try and get himself some clicks, is it?
Yeah.
Plus,
Who's Gareth Southgate?
Jesus.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is.
We've got it, boys. We've had the idiocy.
I've heard the name. I know the name. I just need you to
mute
explain.
now.
Just explain it to me.
The manager of the England team.
I thought he was
Just shut up.
the
Just
manager
stop,
Hang
for
on.
stop speaking.
gonna poach him or
Stop
something.
speaking.
Hang on, I'll be 1 second. Kayla,
Plus,
what is Gareth Southgate's job? And if you could say it loud so the mic picks you up. Aside from being a hottie toddy. Yeah, football manager for who? Okay, Kayla got that and you didn't.
oh.
Look, I'm learning.
Plus, if Callum shuts up, for Euro 2021, I reckon that could be the best possible time for them to make that step into the England squad, because they will have that one. Hoping we go up at least. Even if we don't go up, they will have that one year of Premier League experience, because I can't see us keeping either of them if we don't go up. Because if we don't go up, Calvin's getting sold definitely, and Ben White's going to go to a Premier League side.
And centre back isn't one of the strongest positions in the England side at the moment. And
who's at the minute? Gomez and Stones or something.
Yeah, I think
Stones has struggled with passing up from back, and
plus then Calvin Phillips, he'd be replacing Declan Rice, who I believe has had a shit season. Am I right?
He's not very good when he's playing for England either.
Yeah.
No, and then would Jordan Henderson fit into a more advanced role, do you reckon?
Yeah, probably. Like, he's not exactly a defensively minded player, is he?
Southgate has his system though. He never really rotates his squad, which is worth noting. Like even when
What,
Kieran
Southgate?
Trippier was, even when Kieran Trippier wasn't performing well, he was still like the starting right back. And I'm talking after the moment everyone in this Discord call had the happiest 20 seconds of their life against Croatia, and we don't talk about what happened after. Oh, you should have squared it.
I was in Spain during that match, and it was dire.
I reckon it's the best chance for about 20, 25 years that Leeds have got to having an international player. No, yeah, 15, 20
well,
years.
What are we saying, international player? Because
Yeah,
I mean,
England
we got.
Sorry, England international player.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like with what Southgate's done recently, he's brought Rice into the fold. He's introduced Sancho, whereas he could have easily just stuck with his same old Sterling one side, Rashford other, Kane down the middle. I think there's a good amount of.
I think he kind of had to go with Declan Rice after the whole changing his nationality to English.
I don't know. It would have been a baller move for Southgate to go. I mean, that's nice and all. I wasn't picking you.
and he has done it before. Jack Grealish, don't forget.
Oh yeah, shit. I don't know. Grealish is at least like knocking on the door of it now, isn't he?
I still prefer Maddison. I don't know their like. I'm not compared their stats. But
What was a central attacking?
Yeah.
He's most forward midfielder.
I struggled to see where Calvin would fit in. I don't know whether they play just sort of a line up the middle of Calvin into CDM, Henderson in middle, and
Let me have a look at my
Maddison up top, maybe.
Yeah.
Rice statistics that I've got on
Or would even use Mason Mount instead of Maddison.
I feel Maddison's more. He's got that quality.
Either way, I feel like both.
Better quality.
I think both Mount and Maddison are ahead of Grealish in the queue.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But going back to Calvin, I can definitely see him being one of those players that even the warm-up matches, he could get into them if he doesn't get into the thing.
Would it
He's
be
in for an England call-up coming up,
Would it be Nations League next coming up?
potentially.
Oh yeah. Things I've got here, like I watched Kosovo 0 England 4. Just watching Declan Rice, just personally, like made like here it's like he got 99% pass accuracy. He's missed one pass all game, but I've got notes like simple backwards passing. Rarely makes himself useful option for teammates. Rarely plays forward balls. It's like to me that's not helpful at all.
It's not what you need, is it?
Any system.
Uh,
Yeah, he's got a big stature around him, but I feel like he's still young. He's 20, 21. He needs a bit more.
So the Nations League is currently planned for matches between the 5th of September 2020 and the 17th of November 2020.
Which is still
throughout
doable.
special periods. But I don't know if they. Oh,
Yeah, I've got the matches up here. It's Belgium, Denmark, and
I
Iceland.
just got the dates.
All right, okay. Well, the teams we'd in theory be against if it goes forward are Belgium, Denmark, and Iceland, and I feel like he could at the very least play quite comfortably against Denmark or Iceland.
I would say maybe not Belgium against
Maybe not
Kevin
Belgium.
De Bruyne, but
Maybe he's not quite capable of beating Kevin De Bruyne, but
however, he did have fucking Mesut Ozil in his back pocket for a full 90 minutes.
I feel like he would just like use one of his spots to try and if he's thinking about like Callum Phillips or Ben White to take to Euros, I think he'd use one of them like international breaks to bring them into the setup to teach to let them like get to know it. Probably not play, but just know how to set up.
yeah.
Are they still doing international friendlies, or is it just all about the Nations League now?
I feel like they'll get rid of the friendlies just because they need the time to squeeze in the Nations League matches.
That's fair enough.
So aside from the interesting things regarding what our players are doing, Harry, you've seen something about who Rads has been spotted with, haven't you?
Saw it a couple of saw it a couple of weeks ago, a week ago, 2 ago, and it's to do with PSG again. PSG's owners Nasser Khalifa and his QSI.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
And there's a lot about this, like Lorenzo Tonetti, who you see like the players will tag him in Instagram posts, and he's like a lot of what he does is to do with Rads. Seems to be like his right hand man. It looks and like it says here 11th of January he's in Doha to talk to like QSI bodies and Qatari bodies, and then it says they're willing to buy 49% of LUFC for $200 million, which does also bring in the fact where the 49ers investment's going, if that's gonna, like it says, with the possibility to reach 75%. Now I think Rads with his 5-year plan would want to still, I know he'll have 25%, but will the 49ers still have the 10% or whatever it is? And it says here is about Qatar Airways, the shirt sponsorship, which, like I said, it could bulk out that green and blue shirt, which you don't like. But also, what I found quite interesting was that even though we're all in quarantine right now, Tanetti's gone to Qatar, and even though we don't know what he's done in Qatar, it's like, why are you in Qatar? Especially when there's all these like rumours around Leeds, when not everyone, not all nations, but nations are in the heat of coronavirus.
It does all seem very interesting to me as well. Like 35 million a year for sponsorship. That seems like it could sort of increase potentially, given what's happened with like PSG through their sponsorships, where it's totally inflated to what it should be.
It's the fact that it never goes away. It's always like QSI, Rads. I know they're good friends, but it's like, when will that?
Yeah.
Plus, if this comes through, I would be glad to not see a betting sponsor, to be fair.
Yeah, it'd be something that isn't 32 Red, wouldn't it? And that is.
I want to say that the are getting rid of 32 Red, aren't they?
Yeah,
maybe.
I think the contract comes to an end soon.
And I think
maybe the end of next year.
I think we had a clause where we could buy ourselves out if it came down to leaving the championship.
Plus, with what's happened with Derby and essentially 32 Red buying Wayne Rooney, that's
Yeah, totally.
soured it a bit, I think.
32 red for Wayne Rooney.
They paid essentially all of his wages.
Not
And he
loopholes.
happened to be unveiled with the number 32.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Let's say Wayne Rooney. I was gonna say David Beckham. So Wayne Rooney is owned by.
First for Derby.
He's not
Derby is
owned
sponsored by 32 Red.
And
he's owned
32
by 32 red.
and 32
He's
Red
owned by
gave
Derby.
them.
for him to be acquired.
Like, 'cause he's on that coach player, so
Mm.
it don't go on FFP as
Yeah.
much, but they probably still help to pay like what must be 6 figures a week.
It'll be a big wage. They'll need to make it a big wage, really.
32
So,
grand.
yeah.
They'll be able to pay that wage with how much they sold the stadium for.
How much this time? That stadium's worth the GDP of a small country. So between everyone, would you welcome a Qatari buyout? Would you oppose it, or
I would.
I mean,
I
would
sorry.
because I've seen like Manchester City, but you always got the like ethical side of it. It's like you want successful before this money came in, but football nowadays is all about money. You've got to spend money to like
Do well,
ideally be able
yeah.
to.
yeah.
I'd rather see. I like seeing Radzani at the head of it because he seems like he has good intentions for the club to get the club developed, and I think he's done a really good job so far. But from what I've seen, he's not running out of money as such, but he's been limited by FFP to what he can and can't do.
And it is expensive to run a championship club.
Whereas with this, what the opportunities that this Qatari thing will do, such as bringing in the money from a new sponsor with the Qatari Airways, I think it allows Radrazani even more options to open up on in the club.
Yeah. I think I have one worry aside from all the ethical stuff, but in the Premier League you're going to have ethical issues with whoever buys your club.
Yeah.
My one worry with it is there's a slight risk of becoming a PSG feeder club, or at least like a sub club, if you get me, in which we just take the young players and are made to develop them, which wouldn't be ideal if we want to get back to fighting for Champions Leagues.
Buying the club, they'd want the club to be successful. So yeah, they'd want PSG to be successful as well, and their youngsters. But would they risk a team that they're maybe spending $200 million on to just be a feeder club?
I think it'd open working relations with PSG, such as we would be a priority club to get youth, but I don't think it'll sort of tie us into a contract that we have to take youth, if you get me. So, like, they'll sort of offer these loans that we can sort of take for, like, maybe a cheaper rate, but I don't think it'll be stupid.
It'd open the doors a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that sorted, we've got to move on to our last section. I've called it The Good, the Bad and the Ugly because I've not got a snappy name for either the podcast or this section. It's where we cover good things in football, bad things in football, and weird or ugly things in football that have happened throughout the week. Opening up on the good, I'm going to start us off with a nomination for Bielsa. He has managed us for 2 years now, and the change has been insane.
My hero.
Okay, do we need to explain that one anymore, or are we
No.
just going to leave it there?
It's just a testament to how good he is. The fact that within the 2 years he's got us from, well, not even 2 years, it was within the first 6 months. He's got us from, 15th place in the championship to leading it and play in the playoffs.
You know, honestly, like the fact he got the same group of players.
Yeah.
And like, I've said it for quite a while. Like that click goal and Stoke, that's one of my favourite goals I've ever seen live because like that was the start of the Bielsa era. Like,
yeah.
From that moment, everything kind of felt like, holy shit! Like it didn't feel like we were watching Leeds in that game.
No,
And, like,
you went into the game like you weren't knowing what would go on. Like you knew a little bit. I knew little bits about Bielsa, but I didn't think like when I saw the squad, I was like, oh great, he's playing this player. But then it's like makes you appreciate like all 11 players who played on day and who have
At the time, no one thought Klitsch was a genuinely good footballer, and yet there we go.
Because he came back, he were out on loan through the Christiansen season. Then we thought it was going to be like another Idiguchi where he'd go out, end up getting sold back to somewhere else. And just
even when he were at Utrecht on loan, he got like most key passes in like Eredivisie history or something in the game. And it's like you didn't probably think of it because he wasn't even involved in like the setup, but it probably helped having like Vieira getting sold. So, and a few injuries that Forshaw at the start of last season.
I think that really opened it up for him, to be fair. The fact that Forshaw wasn't able to start for the first few games, so it gave him the chance to just get stuck in straight away.
So yeah, Bielsa is a very obvious candidate for that. Has anyone got another candidate that could fit into that job?
I put the Leeds United social media team because I think they've done sort of a class job for the last while, keeping the fans involved with the club over this lockdown, making sure that things are getting sorted with, even with the season tickets, they've been sort of clear with what they've said. Like,
I can like reiterate that because we're like my dissertation, I need full football games to code, and like Leeds are the only team that have got every game of the season available for free to watch full games. And it's like, the camera doesn't always track the players. So it might be like, oh, I've got 63 passes for Calvin Phillips, but who's got? I've got 65 passes for Calvin Phillips. Like, you might get them discrepancies, but like the facts, like they have highlights every game, always, and they had like them clapping videos they did, just showing appreciation. All right, so a little bit extra.
Alex Note's top 10 goals was really the highlight of mine. I'd like to thank Leeds United for once again reminding me of
the player that we used to have.
The player that we used to have, and thinking he's going to win a Ballon d'Or.
Oof, Rufy's top 10 goals, Jesus.
Plus,
I'll look that up.
Even stuff that they've done throughout the rest of lockdown where they had sort of Beckford, who else? Ben Parker, Andy Hughes as well. Just sit down and watch the Man United game. You wouldn't get many teams sort of having people want to watch that sort of stuff. But I think they've got enough viewers for it as well. It's just sort of a testament to how far the club's come recently. I believe.
It was a fun way of keeping viewers.
Yeah.
What is a not very entertaining time. Do we have any other nominees for the good?
I'd like to throw in Gianni Alioski for not losing any of his lunatic antics. I thought locking inside for so long might cause him to come down a bit, and maybe come out a bit like, oh, not the same I was anymore. But within 30 minutes, he's already clobbering cameras on sideline, and I fell back in love with him already. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff, Gianni back.
It's interesting because they did the Ask Gianni, didn't they? And then just to see him sort of confused why everyone thinks he's so insane. It's just.
Well, he goes round before a football game into going Peppa Pig, like, I'm just gonna do that.
And he just seems so sad, wanting just people to play PlayStation with.
Okay.
I can't remember who it was, but somebody came up to Bamford and like approached them in the middle of a game and pointed at Gianni and went, "Why is he like that? Like, who else has done that to anybody?"
Why is he like that?
Another for good. I've seen Rashford on here.
Yeah.
I've missed this story. So what's happened with Rashford?
Basically, he led a campaign. Boris Johnson and his assorted cronies have essentially tried to stop doing free school meals for the summer holiday period, which is sort of a necessary thing when people still aren't at work under lockdown. And he led a campaign to get the free school meals back. And as much as he is a scum bastard, he has succeeded in making sure children don't starve. So
honestly, he's done that, and then he's learn sign language or something for people who can't hear, deaf people. Sorry.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. And to do a competition.
Yeah,
but it's good to see sort of footballers with a platform as big as his social media using it for such good.
Honestly, especially because he's so young as well. Like,
yeah.
I've got one more note that isn't on the sheet, but I've just remembered it. Pat Bamford, for
Yep, I'll do that.
being very not racist and essentially telling racists to fuck off.
And
Also, for
exposing
him,
him as well.
him to just be able to deal with all the shit he gets from all
Oh,
these
it
FIFA
was
dads.
so funny when he just
Even
called
though
some
he's
kid
like-
out.
Oh yeah.
He called some kid out in the DM saying,
And then he was like,
oh,
"No worries, mate. Hope you get us promoted." Like, what goes through your head?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
How have you had a conversation with someone who's like, "Don't be racist," and you've said, "No, actually, I think I do want to be racist," and ended
But
it like, but still be good at football for me, please. Like, no, that's not. It's not. No.
The world's a bit of a mess at the minute, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Put it nicely.
So, from our good nominees, we have Marcelo Bielsa, Leeds United social media, Yanni Alioski, Rashford, and Bamford. Who are we calling the good for the week?
Probably Rashford. Even though he's a scum.
I was literally about to say we can't go for Rashford because he's a scum bastard.
He has made the government look fucking shit. And he has made him change their mind. I'd say Rashford, mate.
Oh, come on, it doesn't take much to make him look shit, does it?
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
I would go for. Oh, Abdi said it has to be Rashford.
Does it though?
It hurts.
No, it's okay.
Any other weeks,
It's okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slightly adjust the.
Could it not have been Yanni doing that?
In the camera.
Right, hang on.
It's a follow only so Abdi can't see it.
I've slightly modified the chat. The only viewers that we're gonna take opinions from right now. Fuck. Our followers. Shit.
Absy's followed. Welcome, Absy.
Thank you for the follow critical damage.
Yep. Thank you for the follow.
I would say I don't want to say Rashford, but I think I have to.
Yeah. Fine.
It's between Rashford and Bamford. Rashford's actually got some change made.
I think when it comes to this time, you've got to look before, like, even though it's scum, you've got to look like.
Yeah, you got to look past football for stuff like that.
Like, he's come across and like mugged Katie Hopkins off on Twitter, which is unreal.
Anyone that can ruin Katie Hopkins' career is fine by me.
It was ruined forever.
I don't think she has much of a career.
How about we make a deal? We'll make a deal where for the first week it'll be joint between Pat and Rashford because they've both been good. One of them isn't a scum bastard, and
it improves his actions.
There we go.
And Billy didn't like for Euro 2021 squad. That's fine.
And Bamford doesn't.
Will Bamford have said whether he's
Irish
or
Irish
or?
Is he still getting the phone calls off of it?
Whoever it was.
I'm waiting for the call. He'll return it one day.
Mick McCarthy leaving as well, so he's gonna have someone else up phone.
Oh god, it'll be Roy Keane. You know it will.
Right. So for our first week of Good, Bad, Ugly, our good is a mix of Marcus Rashford and Pat Bamford. So if anyone's
good way to start, not even getting the format right.
It's fine. Under the bad, what have we got?
I wanted to put the schedules for the upcoming games because it seemed like a mess and it's going to change. Right, it feels like it's going to change right up till kickoff.
Can we slip that under the ugly because we got a nomination for that fits in just right?
I mainly said that because I think that the other one could go under ugly as well.
I don't know. I think I'm not that bothered about Peterborough and Sunderland missing out on the playoffs. And spoiler warning, that is
how many of that?
Spoiler warning, that's the next one. But that's because it's a competitive league, and what happens if you're not as good is that you don't do as well, and someone has to not make the playoffs. So I feel like
I feel sorry for Peterborough because they've been on such a good run of form all season, and to miss out by 1 point when you're level on games is a bit.
Yeah,
it must hurt a lot. Whereas Sunderland, not so much because they have a game over everyone and still missed out, but they like the team of like Sunderland, they were up there almost all season. I think you can see by the form table that I put in the sheet that we've got. They've had four bad games,
and they've dropped out.
Look at Oxford. They've won 4. They've jumped 12 points on them. No, not 12 points. 10 points on them. So it just makes you think they would have been up there otherwise.
Yeah, I'm not so tempted to have that as our bad, just because it's got to happen to someone. As harsh as it sounds,
would have probably gone in the ugly instead of bad.
I'm gonna make a nomination for the bad that isn't on the sheet, but needs making all the same. Various football hooligans, including those who went to London just to smash shit and do Nazi salutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
And it feels like we're not going to get anyone out voting them, are we?
Nope.
And also the fact that these football hooligans are literally calling themselves by the football fans, saying that they will sort of defend this stuff, sort of implying this bad name on everyone who follows football.
Yeah.
It's just a bit. There's no point in that shit. It did make me laugh a bit this weekend when they went to these statues to protect them from absolutely no one who showed up.
Can we have Katie Hopkins as a permanent on the bad list? Just wait, we've got an ugly list.
She's just the honorary bad and ugly.
I think, with the Ken Bates Award,
yes,
I think that the ugly should just be called the Katie Hopkins Award.
Good, the bad, and the Katie Hopkins.
Right, I'll change it in the spreadsheet to the Katie Hopkins Award for ugly.
We'll be getting a lawsuit through in a
The
minute.
Katie Hopkins Award for ugly.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, did you see the the YouTuber who made a sound?
Yeah.
Devote
Just
Oh,
don't
yes.
say the-
what we were on
don't
about
say
earlier.
the word.
nice.
So what I am putting in the bad section, I don't think we're gonna need to vote on this. Literal Nazis, I think we can all agree, are quite bad.
Yeah, like why are you going to the cenotaph?
I mean, we
Like,
could also put
people fighting for the nation who lost their lives, and you're doing Nazi salutes. What does
Like,
that gain? It's so fake. I don't understand.
In the bad also, I would want to put sort of just the general vandalism that we've seen, but it's a bit less than just the football bit that we're trying to be on about.
The funny thing is that at least we know they'll be off the streets this weekend because football is returning. So at least we can be sure of one thing with these absolute Neanderthal.
Instead, they'll be shouting probably racist
Like,
slurs at the players that
you
aren't
say
performing.
football hooligans, and it's like they're not social distancing for a start, so it's like I don't know.
Can I also put a preemptive bad or not?
Preemptive bad, you can
A
try.
preemptive bad.
Cardiff.
No, I was going to say these football fans who will inevitably turn up at grounds on Saturdays and Wednesdays, assuming that they've got special treatment and tried to get in the grounds.
Yeah.
I feel like Leeds fans, some will, because you had that dickhead on Twitter going, who's going to...
Yeah.
I think you've had today, you've had Alan Clark come out and just saying, stay at
feel like
home.
Dickheads are synonymous with every club.
That's why I didn't mention a club specifically. I just said just dickheads who think they get special treatment because they're dickheads.
And it's always when someone says, "Oh, I hate X fans," it's normally they just hate the dickheads because that's all.
Because they're the ones you notice.
So was the minority.
Unless it's Millwall and they're all dickheads.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When it comes
controversial.
This is controversial. What are you saying, Joe?
When it comes to any Leeds fans that show up at the ground, there's no doubt that they're dickheads because you've had the Square Ball saying don't show up, you've had the Leeds Twitter account saying don't show up, you've had various legends saying don't show up, you've had current players saying don't show up.
You've even had Phil Hay saying don't show up.
Yeah.
And, if that's not the voice of the reason, I don't know what is.
Yeah. If
Phil talks, the world listens.
if you end up showing up, then you're just a dick.
Definitely
Should we change our bad from literal Nazis to dickheads? Because let's be honest, they're the same people. They are.
It's a category, not they're the same people.
Okay, yeah, fine. Okay,
They're the
so
same breed of stupid.
the official award for bad that we still need to name.
We could just call it the Dickhead Award, you know?
Yeah, go on.
The good, the dickheads, and the Tatey Hopkins.
So, suitably, the winner of the first Dickhead Award is Dickheads.
Well done, dickheads.
Now
Well
moving
done.
on to the Katie Hopkins Award for Ugly. First
He
nominee
gets
is Katie Hopkins. Who wants to formally propose Katie Hopkins as our ugly?
But if I want to put Kiko in
I
for
don't
big
think anyone wants to propose to Katie Hopkins.
Don't
Okay,
really want to give her
fine.
time of day. To be honest.
We'll
No,
just.
I think I've even got her blocked on Twitter, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean,
Well-
she blocks random people who even say anything bad about her. And I say, and bad is like, is anything normal?
So we'll take Katie Hopkins as assumed. We'll just say for hating starving children, or something along those lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Any
I think
other?
my point links up with this next point that we've got of the schedules coming up for football are a bit.
They're
all over
insane.
the shop. I can understand the Premier League doing it because you'll get viewers from all over the world, where they've got like just spread out across the weekend, aren't they? Whereas the Championship, I'd say, doesn't really need it that much.
Yeah, as no one from abroad is gonna watch Middlesbrough versus Millwall at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday.
Because I don't necessarily plan on going out of my way to watch every match in the Championship.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd want to probably watch more from the Premier League because I know it's going to be a better quality of football, which is a bit obvious.
I think I'm in a position where if it's on, I'm probably gonna watch it. But even I'm not. Nah. 3 p.m. on a Wednesday is a shit time for a football match.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the first weekend you've got a game at 12:30, a game at 1, and then the rest are at 3.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not even like using the best sort of time slots by having an evening kickoff game or anything. I don't know why you're looking for this game at 3.
It's I can't remember where it was on like one of the Twitter accounts of the teams. But I can't remember.
Millwall Middlesbrough I've got on the 8th of the 7th, 8th of July at 7:15.
Is it
quarter to 8.
I know I can't remember the specifics. I think it was that match, but if it wasn't, then I'll correct
You've got
myself.
games at 5 o'clock, which
Isn't
again,
great itself.
Not great because it's just the wrong time. They haven't even sort of scheduled the last game of the season yet. It could even change day for all we know.
Yeah, so it's definitely ugly, and I assume that comes alongside the whole result of the pandemic, including teams essentially being relegated or not promoted based on things that are outside their control when they might have been.
Yeah.
Another thing to maybe add to the bad list is the predictability of the Bundesliga. Just got notification through that Bayern Munich have secured the Bundesliga title again.
Who'd have thunk it?
Just know it's going to be Bayern Munich. Yeah.
You care a bit too much about the Bundesliga for your own good.
It's just football.
It's the only football there is at the
I know.
minute,
You want something to be. You want it to be more a bit unpredictable, like Leicester winning.
Also,
yeah, I think it's because you've not really got multiple. You've got like 2 teams that could potentially fight for the title, and it's just not really great to watch if you know what's going to happen.
Predicting it, yeah. Put tenner on Bayern to win. Oh, I've got 12 quid back. Bet secured.
Right, are we going to allow Katie Hopkins to win the Katie Hopkins Award?
Yeah, fuck her. She deserves it.
Fantastic.
So,
our winner for the should we say our loser of the Katie Hopkins Award?
There you go. Borough's trip to the capital to face Millwall will now kick off at 3 p.m.
There we go.
It remains on Wednesday, July the 8th, but moves from a 7:45 p.m. start to a 3 p.m. afternoon slot. Please note that the fixture remains subject to change, selected for live of Sky Sports coverage.
What a very normal time to put it.
That's awful.
I'm so glad I've got Sky Sports back for that.
Who runs Sky? Is it Chimpanzee? Does he just every now and then just whack a keyboard or something? And it's just like, oh shit, it's changed to 7 kickoffs to the 3 kickoff. It's the Championship. Nobody's bothered. It's just atrocious.
I'm surprised that you've not put the restart of football in there, Cameron.
Well, I was going to get onto this, but I did feel like I would go for 5 minutes, but I did feel like
something here.
I'll sum up quickly.
You do have a point, though, to be honest. Like,
the treatment of the way that football's been brought back in terms of comparing it to how late it has been done to every other league, and the fact that I think a suitable opinion based on the amount of people who have died because of the pandemic, football should not be returning in this country in the slightest, let alone having it be different at different levels. Like the National League was cancelled in March, League One's gone down to points per game, but the Championship's playing on. None of it ever feels like they've sat down in a room and planned out what's going to happen. It just feels like, where's the money? Who needs money? You need money. You need money. I don't care about you. I don't care about you. Right. Football's back, everybody, and it just feels panderous and bullshit. And for me, even if Leeds do go up, it's really soured the entire football experience for me.
I know, like,
I'm down on it.
For the conference teams, like League Two teams, it's not sustainable to play the games behind closed doors. But why have some conference seasons been null and void? Then some just gone points per game. Like that doesn't to me make sense.
If you're going to PVGs,
to me that just makes me feel like conference, like the FA have gone, jumped to conclusion with conference and gone, we'll deal with League Two later. And it's like, to be honest, they should have all made the same decision at the same time. Conference will be points per game, League Two should be points per game, League One should be points per game.
I end up getting a bit annoyed at it because there's the whole thing of this social distancing.
Yes.
Whereas if the government was serious about that, they wouldn't say that football can come back before sports like cricket and sort of driving and other shit that don't require contact. Like football's inherently a contact sport. I know they're doing all this testing.
Yeah.
But players are going home to the families and seeing the families. So it's still easily spread.
You could make the argument with, for example, F1 being almost as contact-y a sport as football, just because of the closeness of a pit garage. But I see what you mean in terms of cricket.
Yeah, because I think I remember reading like a couple of days ago, or maybe even today, say the sort of newspaper saying that cricket won't be back recreationally until next year. But then you think about that and think that surely it's safer to play cricket than it is to have football. And
I can just think like you slip corn in cricket, but like Cameron says, the money involved in football is far greater, and then that's why you're talking about teams like not teams like QSI, the Qatar money coming in. It's all about money, isn't it?
It's really, and that's kind of like the whole downer of it is like if you look at a team like Peterborough, they will be ruined by the time football restarts in September, because they'll have the best players getting sold because Ivan Toney's the top scorer in the division. They've had great players on loan going back, and it's just like it's not the same as going, okay, just don't, stop it there, but come back next season and try again. Football's not like that. It's never like that. Leeds can be third one year and 15th the next. Like football constantly changes, and the fact that this dynamic has just kind of been inputted to the system of, oh, what do you want to do? Sorry, I don't care what you want to do because you've not got the money for it. It just really shows how deep-rooted this financial aspect of money really runs. And
I think it shows how wrong all the pundits have been from the fact that they were saying that at the start of this whole pandemic, they were saying that the transfer market is going to be dead from the fact of no players wanting to move or anything. But you're still getting talks of takeovers, money being spent.
Timo Werner.
They were about this entire restart to the footballing economy. You're never going to get that because like owners are wanting their club to be profitable. And if they've spent so much money on a club, they're not going to then just say, "Oh yeah, that's fine. We'll restart the economy and make it sort of more sensible."
I think you'll probably have people who not like Peterborough fans saying, "Oh, Peterborough, you should have been in the top. You should have been in the top 3 to go." But you can't plan for something like coronavirus, can you? Like,
I think it's important
for them.
when you're expecting consistency. I think it's important to remember that we're currently in a country where you're allowed to go to the shops surrounded by dozens of people, but not go and see your nan. Like, if we're expecting consistency, then we're looking at the wrong thing at the minute, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, what do we put that down for? We'll say the Katie Hopkins Award for Ugly is now between Borough and Millwall being played at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday and other scheduling malarkeys. Yeah. Katie Hopkins herself for her continued existence, and the football economy, money.
I'd say just the shit way that football's run.
Okay, the way that football's run. So what are we voting as the ugly for this week?
I would say that football is just an ugly business in general, but you can't really put that as that.
I still want to say Katie Hopkins. If Marcus Rashford has done good enough to be under the good, I think Katie Hopkins has earned her ugly head.
I'd say don't give it the light of day and give it to Borough and Millwall and the shit scheduling.
You know, that's fair enough.
I think
yeah.
Too ugly for an ugly award.
I like it. She's too ugly to be ugly. By the way, we're talking like internally and emotionally ugly here. We're not talking about like
she just is ugly anyway.
Well, yeah, there is that. But like as a human being, she has an ugly soul, if that is a thing.
And she's also a fucking mom.
What?
She's a fucking mom.
Just
well, yeah.
don't give him.
So, we've got Borough Millwall playing at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday, and football scheduling is the Katie Hopkins Award for ugly. As bad, we have various dickheads, and as good, we have Marcus Rashford for letting school kids eat, and Patrick Bamford for slapping down the racists. So yeah, I think that's a fairly good way to end the podcast there. Thank you for showing up to the first episode of what is provisionally called the Zephod-cast. I know it's not brilliant.
You can't even say it.
Yeah. Give suggestions either in the chat or one of you guys suggest something before the next episode. I think does Friday sound okay to do these from now on? So before a game of football in general.
Yeah, can do. And then it'll give us a chance to speak of the midweek game and build up to the weekend game.
Yeah, that sounds good.
This Friday or next Friday?
Oh, next Friday. Because there's no point us recapping 3 days of nothing.
Well, yeah, just recapping the Premier League and then League 2.
So, yeah. Gonna leave that there. Thank you for anyone who showed up. I think we reached at 1.9 views, which might be a new highest for me.
Yes, Abdi lad.
And yeah, toodaloo. Have a good evening. Say goodbye, everyone.
In a bit.
Adios.
Bye.